Picture this: you're a homeowner in the UK, already shelling out for your water bills, and now you're being asked to pay again for fixes to the very sewage problems that should have been addressed years ago. This is the infuriating dilemma at the heart of a major legal challenge unfolding this week, where campaigners are accusing water regulators of bending the rules unfairly. But here's where it gets controversial: should past corporate lapses really come at the expense of everyday consumers? Let's dive deeper into this gripping story to uncover the details that could reshape how we view our utility bills. On Tuesday, a court in Manchester will hear arguments from River Action, a campaigning group, claiming that Ofwat, the UK's water regulator, is unlawfully permitting water companies to double-charge customers. This extra burden is meant to fund over £100 billion in investments aimed at slashing sewage pollution that's been plaguing rivers and lakes for too long. We're talking about an average hike of £123 per household annually, which, for beginners in utility economics, means that the money coming from your pocket is essentially funding retroactive fixes to infrastructure that was neglected in prior decades. It's like being billed for a car repair twice because the mechanic didn't do it right the first time. To put this into perspective, Ofwat's recent PR24 decision approved a massive £104 billion cash injection from water firms through the end of the decade. This is a direct response to decades of underinvestment that have led to record levels of sewage dumping into waterways. Think of it as a catch-up plan for companies that have fallen behind on their environmental duties. And this is the part most people miss: these aren't new projects, they're corrections to old mistakes that should have been handled without dipping into consumer funds. The financial hit is already being felt by households, with some of the poorest performers seeing the steepest rises. For instance, Thames Water customers are bracing for a 35% increase, pushing average bills from £436 to £588 per year. Southern Water is even harsher, with a 53% jump from £420 to £642 annually. Meanwhile, United Utilities is upping charges by 32% to an average of £535. These numbers aren't just statistics, they represent real families struggling to afford essentials while grappling with the fallout of corporate shortcomings. To illustrate the point, lawyers for River Action are spotlighting the case of Windermere, a picturesque lake in the Lake District. Recent surveys have revealed that much of this natural gem is contaminated with sewage bacteria, highlighting how long-standing neglect has turned beauty spots into health hazards. The campaigners assert that any spending to rectify this historic underfunding should come from shareholders' pockets, not from customers who have already paid through their bills. After all, Ofwat's own guidelines stipulate that consumers should only cover costs for brand new infrastructure, not for bringing companies up to speed with existing environmental laws. Imagine if your phone provider charged you extra to fix a network outage from years ago. You'd rightly feel cheated, right? Emma Durnelly, River Action's legal chief, puts it bluntly: it's crucial that the public doesn't get stuck paying twice for water firms' previous oversights and upgrading to prevent sewage from fouling our rivers and lakes. Yet, we're worried Ofwat's stance might lead to just that, while outdated systems continue to poison waterways that ought to have been pristine long ago. Her words underscore a sentiment many might share: fairness in utility pricing is non-negotiable. Ricardo Gama from Lee Day, representing River Action at the hearing, echoes this frustration. This lawsuit highlights Ofwat's shortcomings in ensuring that water bills are directed toward genuine infrastructure enhancements. River Action contends that funds that were available and appropriate for vital upgrades have been squandered, forcing customers to cover those costs anew. The two-day session at the Manchester Civil Justice Centre will delve into whether Ofwat has upheld its duty to guarantee that approved investments lead to genuine environmental compliance and equitable charging moving forward. Ofwat, for its part, firmly disputes these allegations. A spokesperson stated, "We dismiss River Action's assertions outright." The PR24 review rigorously examined business proposals to confirm that customers receive fair value and that investments are warranted. "We've explicitly declared that consumers shouldn't pay twice for firms to meet environmental standards, incorporating robust protections in our PR24 rulings to oversee this closely, ready to intervene if needed. Due to the active proceedings, we can't elaborate further." This debate isn't just about numbers and regulations, it's about accountability in an industry vital to our daily lives. Should private shareholders absorb the costs of past failures, or is it reasonable for the public to shoulder them through higher bills? And here's a provocative angle: What if this double charging is actually a clever way for companies to offload liabilities, sparking debate on whether privatization of utilities like water has gone too far in prioritizing profits over people? Do you agree that customers are being unfairly burdened, or should they expect to pay for environmental catch-up as part of living in a modern society? Share your thoughts, agreements, disagreements, or even counterarguments in the comments below. Let's discuss.